Welcome to Biology with a Difference. I am your instructor Babita Rani. Today we are going to study a chapter of Standard 12, Genetics, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. As all of you know, you have studied in class 10 that father of genetics was Gregor John Mendel, and he did his work on pea plant, which is known as Pisum sativum. So Pisum sativum is the scientific name of pea plant. Mendel was born on 22nd July 1822 and he died on 1884. But he did lots of work, but his work was not recognized. 16 years after his death, his work was recognized, and three scientists who gave recognition to his work were Hugo de Vries, Correns, and Teschmark. So these three scientists, after 16 years after his death, recognized his work. Why do you think his work was recognized 16 years after his death? Some of the common reasons for his non-recognition is publication being very simple. His work was not published in any international journal. His work was published in local journal, but it was not published in any international journal. So he could not reach out to large number of people. Second was, he was a mathematician, and biologists were not able to accept the fact that a mathematician would work on a biological theme. And the third one was, Darwin's work was being recognized everywhere because it was in news that time. So everybody was busy discussing Darwin. And the fourth one is, Mendel said some factor is responsible for these characters that he studied. At that time, we did not have the concept of genes. So gene was not known, and later on we came to know the factors to which Mendel was referring is actually genes. Some of the reasons for Mendel's success. Why was his work recognized after 16 years? So some of the reasons were, first one is, Mendel selected contrasting character. Initially he selected 34, then he reduced to 22, and his final work was done on 7 contrasting characters. What do we mean by contrasting characters? Characters are feature of an individual. For example, length of a plant is a character, and Two contrasting traits in this character was tall and dwarf. Second reason was both self and cross pollination could be done. And the third reason for his success was huge sample size. Large number of plants were produced after each cycle, and huge sample size gave credibility to it. And because he was a mathematician, he analyzed the data mathematically. So these were the reasons for his success. First one is he selected contrasting character, and he selected 7 contrasting character. What is a character? Character is feature of an individual, for example length of a plant, and in under this character we have traits. Tall and dwarf are 2 different traits of this character. Self and cross pollination could be done in the pea plant. We had huge sample size because large number of plants were produced after one life cycle, and this gave credibility to all the data that he took, and his data was analyzed with logic mathematically. So these were some of the reasons for his success. Now reasons for selecting pea plant. Why did he select pea plant? The reasons, one more reason we have in this, let me change the color of pen. Okay, not changed. Okay, one more reason for his success was none of the contrasting character that he selected showed linkage. Linkage was not shown by the characters that he selected. This was also one of the reasons for his success. So these are few reasons for his success. Now let us move to why he selected pea plant. So first one is flowers could have both self pollination and cross pollination. This also led him to succeed in all his experiments. Second was pea plant had a very short life cycle. Within 3 to 4 weeks, large number of pea plants could be produced. And third one is seeds had no dormancy stage. As soon as the seeds were sown, it was capable of growing into a new plant. So flowers had both self and cross pollination, and pea plant had very short life cycle, only 3 to, let me write pea here. Pea plant had very short life cycle, only 3 to 4 weeks. Large number of pea plants could be produced in one life cycle. Seeds had no dormancy stage. As soon as they were sown, it could produce a new plant, and they had contrasting characters. Of which Mendel had selected 7 contrasting characters were selected by Mendel. So this is why he selected pea plant. So what are the characters that Mendel selected? He selected 7 contrasting characters, as we have said earlier. So characters were seed color, yellow, green, seed shape, round, wrinkled. Flower color, violet, white, pod color, green, yellow. What you have to remember here, because I am writing it in, let me complete them. Height, stem height, tall, dwarf. Pot color is done. Pot shape, inflated, constricted. Inflated is, generally we see inflated pods. Inflated will look like this, and constricted may look like this. So this is difference in inflated. Flower position. Flower position is axial and terminal. So these are the 7 characters that Mendel studied. Now the characters which I have written on second column is dominant characters, and the characters which are written on this side is recessive characters. We will discuss dominant, recessive and different terms tomorrow. Now what I want to tell you here is, you have to remember this chart. Which character is dominant is generally not given in the question. So you should remember this chart. And one thing that you have to, let me change the color. One thing that you have to remember here is, in seed color, yellow and green are being used. Yellow is dominant, whereas in pod color, green is dominant. So many questions are asked based on this, because dominance is not written over there. So they generally ask, they can try to confuse students between seed color and pod color, because in both of these you can see yellow and green, green and yellow. Same colors are being used. So confusion always arises in pod color and seed color. So remember this In seed color, yellow is dominant. In pod color, green is dominant. You might have seen everywhere you get the matar jo milta hai, that is always green in color. So green is dominant in pod color, whereas yellow is dominant in seed color. So go through this, whatever we have studied today. Tomorrow I will come up with some important terms of this chapter. Hope you had a great learning. Thank you for watching.